I think we good. Start this off right, y'all. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Y'all already know what time it is. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. This is episode 199. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of episodes. What a monumental milestone. We got episode 200 coming up for the next episode, obviously, this Sunday at 10:30. So make sure y'all tune in and tap in. As always, love. I can't wait for episode 200. We got some special things going on for episode 200. So again, make sure y'all are in the building as well as y'all here tonight, but make sure y'all in the building for the next episode as well, because it's going to be dope. It's going to be fire. We're going to have some fun. And I might bust out a little music for y'all or something like that. Y'all have been asking for a little music or something on the live. So make sure y'all tune and tap into that as well, as long with other special things we have going on. We're also gonna have some giveaways as well, because it's episode 200. We're gonna have some special things going on. So again, make sure you tune and tap in and get your badges, man. Yo, we got a lot of subscribers. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000 subscribers. So again, continue to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that all notification bell. And like I said, there's different memberships. Different memberships is granted different access. So make sure y'all tap into those memberships. I seen somebody got gifted a membership tonight. Yes, I love that. I would say the goal for next episode, because it's episode 200, we're gonna have like a high goal. We're gonna push it a little bit for those memberships as well, because we do got a nice membership list. But again, more support helps with the growth of the show. So again, I thank y'all for tuning and tapping in as always. I don't know why my shirt keep popping out. I don't know. It's crazy. But yes. So again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in, y'all. Like I said, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers, and we're a little over 11. Also, within the last year, the pod has generated millions of streams all together, millions of streams. Whether it's the views, whether it's the videos or the shorts, all collective, it resulted to millions of streams. So again, I want to thank y'all monumentally for y'all support, because y'all are the biggest reason for the growth of the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snap. So you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. Hit the it's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Again, that's the word button, the hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. So again, thank y'all, thank you, thank you. Shout out to the supporters that's already in the chat, man. Shout out to y'all subscribers and members, man. Shout out to Winter in the building. Shout out to Shay in the building. Shout out to Treatment in the building. Brooklyn, you're alright. I love that. You already know. You already know. Okay, we got Brooklyn in the building. Shout out to Hazel in the building. Big shout out to Hazel. Shout out to New Way in the building. He got gifted a membership. So shout out to King P in the building. He gifted New Way some a membership. Thank you for the gifted. I appreciate it. It helps with the growth of the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to Culture in the building. Shout out to Alfredo, and shout out to John Pierre. Shout out to you in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to John Pierre. I'm gonna hook John Pierre. You're the special winner tonight. We're not gonna play any music for you, but we're gonna hook you up with some tickets. And I hope you enjoy yourself at the block party. I'm gonna hit them early. I might do the mods tonight, because again, It's a lot that I gotta cover, and I might need some mods to, some trusted mods to step up and weed some of this uh, just idiot behavior in the chat, man. So again, shout out to the real ones for tapping in and supporting, and we're gonna weed these weirdos, because I get the weirdos each and every episode. We welcome them a little bit, but we don't let them stay. Shout out to you. Shout out to No Stage in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Uh, t- 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 yeah, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in, man. We can't have no weirdos in the building, man. No weirdos in the building. If it's not love, then this is not the pod for you. I don't do the bots, no nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It's either love or you up out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm about. I'm about positivity. I'm about love, good energy. But we do have the conversation here. If this is your first time watching, we talk about everything. We talk about music, sports, social commentary, things that's going on in the world, things that we need to have the conversation to, and we have a great conversation. Whether we agree or disagree, it's always going to be respectful. And if you're not, then I won't have you up in here. Shout out to you. Shout out to Wizard in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. And see, the funny thing is, a lot of the new people come in, try to stand out by busting jokes. I get it, you know what I'm saying? A good joke. I'm from Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? I grew up on roasting people. The only thing I like, for real, I wish I had pictures for real that like y'all real pictures. So as y'all roasting, I can roast too. Cause I'm, you know what I'm saying? I give it back, you know what I'm saying? Pause. So but again, shout out to y'all in the chat having fun, but also be respectful as well, especially if your first time. You don't come up in nobody's house putting your feet up on the couch. You know what I'm saying? I'll slap you in the back and the neck for real. Then I drag you out, throw you out like Uncle Phil do, Jazzy Jeff from Fresh Prince. You know what I'm saying? That's how I move. All right. So again, appreciate y'all tapping in. All right, y'all. First segment of the night. Y'all already know how we do popular opinions. Remember, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. First segment of the night is brought to you by OUV Records. Make sure you go to Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. See it right there. And it comes with one of these fire boxes too, and you get a whole thing of merchandise. Also, stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. So again, make sure you tap into OUV Records at OUV Records on Instagram. First question of the night. Which NBA team needs a star right now? Which NBA team needs a star right now? Number 1, Washington Wizards. Number 2, Charlotte Hornets. Number 3, Brooklyn Nets. Number 4, Chicago Bulls. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know what y'all think. I know there's a lot of basketball fans in the chat as well. But again, the question is, which NBA team needs a star right now? Number 1, Washington Wizards. Number 2, Charlotte Hornets. Number 3, Brooklyn Nets. Number 4, Chicago Bulls. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know. Y'all saying Brooklyn? Y'all think we need a star right now? Because I'm a Brooklyn fan, so I'm when people say things about Brooklyn, I'm gonna engage on that. But really, Brooklyn, out of all these teams, honestly looking at it, because if you think of Charlotte Hornets, they do got a star. They got LaMelo Ball. They do have some young players that they could build around with LaMelo Ball. But LaMelo Ball is a legitimate star. The rest of the teams on this list, when I think of Chicago needs a legitimate star. I mean, they haven't had one in a while. LaVine is a great player. LaVine is a solid scorer. But is he like a star that galvanizes a franchise? I think he's a guy that could come to a good team, and with his capabilities and his scoring abilities, he could tilt the favor. But to build a team around LaVine, again, that's why I say I don't know if I would say he's a star, but he's a star in his own right, but not like the franchise. And I'm getting franchise when they say star. Anthony Edwards, you know, who, bro that just won MVP in the championship. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name right now, but you get what I'm talking about. Those who I think of as stars in the league. You know what I mean? Halliburton is a star. Halliburton play dictates the Indiana Pacers going to the finals or not, or going deep playoff run. Shea, I can't think of his name. Shea from Oklahoma City. So when I think of stars, I think of Shea. I think of Anthony Edwards. I think of Halliburton. I think of obviously LeBron, Joker. Guys when their play dictates wins. Luka, their play dictates how deep they go into the playoffs. So I believe Chicago, out of everybody on this list, needs a star more. Between them and the Washington Wizards haven't had a star player probably since I'm terrible. Once I get on live, I'll be forgetting people's name. But it was the point guard from Kentucky, and he was a killer, but he ended up getting hurt. And but he was like their last star player. Like even when Russell Westbrook went to the Wizards, great player, star player. I'll say Russ is definitely a star, but he wasn't their guy, if that makes sense. He was only there for about a year with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is to me in the ilk of like Levine, with guys who could score, but they not like star guys. You know what I mean? So out of all the teams on this list, I'm gonna say either Washington or Chicago. More so Chicago, because when they have a star, Chicago is one of the markets where it's just crazy. Brooklyn, I think we're doing a developmental thing, which I like. Anytime we develop our teams, homegrown our teams, we're a better team and we build it better. Charlotte, like I said, has their superstar already, in my opinion, in LaMelo Ball. So again, in the chat, I saw Brooklyn. I don't agree with Brooklyn in the chat. Myself personally, I went with Chicago. The rest of the world at 49%, mind you, over 6,000 people voted on this, said Chicago as well. Again, they went with me, and again, it's mainly because of the marketing ability of Chicago. Chicago is probably the third, fourth biggest market, and if they had a superstar there, like it matters if you're a superstar in Chicago. The last time, again, Washington had a superstar, it mattered, but it didn't matter, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, so, and I know who the guy I'm thinking about, I just can't say his name right now. It's just when I get on live, I get brain freeze. Shout out to Ryan Anthony in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. One of our day ones, man. Shout out to Paul in the building. Appreciate you as always. Ant-Man won the NBA championship. Good night, everyone. Yeah, again, Ant-Man didn't win a championship, right? But Ant-Man is a superstar. His play dictates wins. The way he play, you know that Timberwolves is going to be in the playoffs every year by the way he plays. If he wasn't on that team, Timberwolves was not going to the playoffs. So that's what I mean by superstars. In my opinion, I think Anthony Edwards is a superstar. Shea is a superstar. Halliburton's a superstar to me. Obviously, LeBron, Luka. It's not that many superstars in the league. Kawhi is a superstar. When he's healthy, the Clippers just look different. Like, you can't deny that. And people probably won't agree with me with the next name I'm going to say that's a superstar, but he is. Because when he's on the court, the team is always one of the best teams in the West. And I'm going to say Zion. But he always get hurt somewhere in the middle of the season. But he is a superstar. His play dictates wins, in my opinion. So all right, y'all. Moving on to the next popular opinion question. And don't forget, y'all, Episode 199 tonight. Next episode is episode 200. It's going to be super duper fun as well. I might have some special guests pop up, and it's just going to be a good time. So, again, episode 200 is the very next episode, which will be Sunday. And yo, we're going to have a hell of a good time. And like I said, I might do a little performance, a little something, something. You know, the chat been asking me to, you know what I'm saying, hit a little rap or something like that. And I might definitely do that for the next episode. Shout out to Doctor in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Shout out to Biggs in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, bro. You already know how we do. But yes, that next episode 200 is gonna be something special as well as tonight. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. Favorite Wesley Snipes movie on this list. Favorite Wesley Snipes movie on this list. Number 1, Sugar Hill. Number 2, Murder at 1600. Number 3, Money Train. Number 4, Boiling Point. Let me know what y'all think in the chitty chat. Again, favorite Wesley Snipes movie. Number 1, Sugar Hill. Number 2, Murder at 1600. Number 3, Money Train. Number 4, Boiling Point. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know. I'm seeing Money Train in the chat. Shout out to Ryan Puff Daddy got no bill. Wow. Yeah, we're gonna talk. You know I'm gonna get into that Diddy situation. Well, hold, that sounds crazy. We're gonna speak on the P. Diddy situation. That sounds crazy. But definitely we're gonna talk about that P. Diddy situation a little bit later. So I'm seeing I'm seeing a lot of Money Train. I'm seeing Murder at 1600. I'm seeing Sugar Hill. All of these is fire movies in my opinion. Boiling Point is the most underrated movie on this list. I will say that for a fact. People forget about Boiling Point, how good Boiling Point was. For those who are not familiar with that movie, go back and watch it. It's a fire movie. They got the what's my dude name in the Boiling Point? He played in Speed. He played King Koopa in the Mario Brothers. I believe his name is Hopper. Dennis Hopper, top tier 90s villain back in the day, and he was in those movies, and he's in Boiler Point, and man, dude was killing it. Sugar Hill though, Sugar Hill holds a special place in my heart, man. That's such a good movie. So out of all the movies on this list, I'm gonna say Sugar Hill. I'm going with Sugar Hill. But all these are fire movies. Murder at 1600, Money Train. I'm seeing a whole lot of Money Train in the chat, cracking up over here after that Diddy mishap. I'm trying to tell you that sounds crazy, right? Until I said something that I had to switch that up, Paul. I had to switch that up. P. Diddy got no building now. Dennis Hopper, Dennis Hopkins. You sure Dennis Hopkins? Not Dennis Hopper? I think it's Dennis Hopper. But you know what I'm talking about. If it's Hopkins, it's Hopkins. But I thought it was Hopper. But top tier villain. All right, so again, I went with Sugar Hill. In the chat, I saw overwhelmingly Money Train. Y'all went with Money Train in the chat. The rest of the world at 43%, mind you, over 3,000 people voted on this, went with Money Train. I'm not gonna lie. I can get jiggy with Money Train. Like, I'm not mad at y'all about Money Train. Money Train to me is fire. Anytime, I think Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson is, what's the best way to say this? They to me are very underrated as a duo with the chemistry in movies. They did about 3 movies together that you've seen that chemistry, right? Money Train was excellent. Of course, you got the young, Jennifer Lopez when all that J-Lo was going on. For those who know, back in the early 2000s, J-Lo, I'm saying, I seen her in person. I did a small background. I was in a movie with Jennifer Lopez. I had a small background role. It wasn't even a role. It was just me walking. But you seen me walking, and then you seen the other characters, right? I might play that one day. It's wild funny. I was like 17 years old, and I'm just walking, and the camera went from me to the other people, and yo, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? That was my claim to fame until I got into music. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I was made in Manhattan, B. You know what I'm saying? I got paid 85.95 for that movie, dog. I had an agent and everything, dog. What you mean? Like, I was hyped. But it, J Lo in them early 2000s was, and in person, physically, facially, she's flawless in person. I will say that. I was looking for looking at that butt because everybody was talking about that butt back in the day. Mind you, I'm 17 years old, you know, immature, and I had to, you know, get a glance at that butt. I'm like, it's cool. It ain't that big. I mean, it's cool, but her face, flawless. She's a beautiful woman, and I had to be careful how I looked at her because she had some big, 6'6", 300-pound bodyguard that looked like he eat the gym, like he just eating weights. Just he was super brolic. So, you know, so her in Money Train was top tier. Yeah, because they did Money Train. They did, obviously, White Men Can't Jump. And then they did this football movie back in the day with Goldie Hawn called Wildcats. They're a very underrated duo. So shout out to Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. But y'all went with Money Train. So I'm not mad at Money Train. Dennis Hopper. It's Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper. I could have sworn it was Dennis Hopper, bro. They are fabulous together. Snaps and Harrelson. That's a fact. That's a fact. They are a great duo, and they have the ability to be funny and also be serious, and all like. And then their parts in the movie made me feel like Woody Harrelson character was supposed to be a brother, but they seen the chemistry test between Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, and they decided to like rewrite it. That's what I really believe. That's what I really believe. When they did Money Train, I really believe that Wesley Snipes had the part, and the part that they wrote was for somebody else. And because of that chemistry, because remember, he played his adopted brother, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Adopted brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody was doing about adopted, so, but it's the chemistry. So, they probably talking about Dennis Hopper. Yeah, because Dennis Hopper was in the other movie with them, with Wesley Snipes and Boiling Point. Top tier villain in the 90s. Top tier. That's good money right there for a good villain in the 90s is Dennis Hopper. Yeah. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, Hollywood Needs to Ask Us. I came up with the segment because I got better ideas for a movie or a movie series. And if y'all don't know what a movie series is, which I'm pretty sure y'all know, it's like Alien Earth. Alien Earth is a movie series. Alien Earth is I have to say, if you haven't seen Alien Earth yet, yo, y'all wasting time with life. That show was so fire. I really felt like I got 8 movies in one. Like, it was such a good show, and the show was over with, so you could binge watch some things tomorrow. But it's a great, great show to tap into. Episode 8 had me, and a lot of people didn't like the ending of episode 8, but nah, it ended perfectly in my opinion. But all right, y'all, my Hollywood Need to Ask Us for this episode. I would love to see another movie made in the ilk of Smoking Aces. I don't know if y'all familiar with Smoking Aces, like that OG movie with Common, Alicia Keys, Taraji. I mean, they had a dude that just played Batman not too long ago. Oh God, he also played Daredevil before. Ah man, it's cause I'm on live. I'll be forgetting names while I'm on live. But in that movie was just super fire. If y'all, you know, familiar with Smoking Aces, where you have this guy who's like really tearing up Vegas, and they had to have a reason. All these bad guys where the mafia put up $1 million to take this one guy out, and these were the worst of the worst people that you could think of. And I would love to see a movie in that ilk where somebody has to be taken out for a political reason or a financial reason, and you got all these top tier killers from around the world in like an action-packed thriller, guns and everything. So that's the type of movie I would love to see in this elk. Of course, I will rate this movie rated R. I will also obviously make it a crime movie. I would cast in this movie. This would be my cast: Jamie Foxx, Jonathan Majors, Taylor Page, Omari Hardrick, Jeremy Piven, Boris Cujo, and Gail Bean. That's what I'm starting the cast off. That cast right there would be fire. You would get comedy, you would get seriousness, authenticity, and top tier acting to get whoever that they need to get up out of here. So that's the movie I would put. And the director, I would use Joe. I would use Joe Carnahan. I would use Joe Carnahan, and he's the actual director of the original Smoking Aces. So I think this would be absolute fire. So I would love to see another Smoking Aces type of movie, because the second one was ass. The first one was top tier. The second one was like, that was a whole money grab, and they did a part 3 to it. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the elk of it. I want that money to be in this movie, that acting to be in this movie. I think this would be absolute fire and the people would love it. Shout out to Demo in the building. My dog, Ryan Anthony, New York City mayor, got fired. Definitely talking about that later in the show. Black judge smoking good kush. Mayor Adams. He's smoking only the finest. Only the finest. They import the good kush in. Only the finest, brother. Only the finest. You know? But I'm definitely talking about that later in the show. I got that in the notes. Alright, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Our must-see. I'm going to give y'all 3 must-see movies to tap into, like I do each and every episode. Make sure y'all tap into these movies. If you watch them, come back and we could chop it up about it. Alright, first must-see movie, fire movie, came out 1991. I know y'all ain't never seen this movie. It's directed by Peter Markey. It stars Tony Danza, Dan Lorella, Ted Levine, Frank Vincent, James Robinson, Nicholas Torriaro, and why is his name not here? And also, hold on, why is his name not here? And Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson is in this movie. Fire movie. This movie is called The Line of Duty, Mob Justice. It's a fire movie. Again, this is about a cop, goes undercover, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for you, so make sure you tap in to see The Line of Duty, Mob Justice. Second must-see movie. This movie is directed by 3 people. Titino Brass, Bob Guccione, and Juan Carlo Liu. This movie stars Malcolm McDowell, Helen Marine, Peter O'Toole, Teresa Ann Saber, John Goodall. Again, this movie came out in 1979. This movie is called Caligula. If you know, you know, but I'm pretty sure this is a 1979 movie. None of y'all have ever seen this movie. This is one of the wildest, if not the wildest movie I've ever seen in my life. I spoke about it last episode about Hollywood is highly weird. And it makes you wonder who's really acting. So in this particular movie, you're going to see people who are now revered as stars. But in this movie, this was one of the first movies that was rated R that had hardcore scenes, if y'all know what I mean. This movie, Caligula, is about Caligula Caesar in his time, in his reign, basically like Julius Caesar, and he was a wild boy. Do not watch this movie with children around. Again, this movie is rated R, but this is the first movie that showed adult acts in real time that's rated R. If y'all catch my drift. Again, do not watch this movie with children in ear distance. Close the door, lock the door. All right? Again, it's called Caligula, and it is a must-see movie, and it's about Caligula Caesar and his time and him reigning. I won't spoil it for you, but make sure you tap it. But I had to put that caveat. This movie is rated R, but it should be rated something different because they're showing things in real time. All right, y'all, moving on to the next movie, my final movie. This one came out 2011, directed by Julian Magnet. This movie stars Melly Junovich, Julian McMahon, Sarah Wayne Callis, Valentia Vargas, and Michael Stanks. This movie is called Faces in the Crowd. This movie is super duper fire. This movie is about a young lady who is on her way home from a party and she witnesses a crime. And you have to watch the rest of the movie. Again, I won't ruin it for you. Again, it's called Faces in the Crowd. It's such a fire movie. Make sure y'all tap into this movie. So again, my 3 must-watch movies is Faces in the Crowd, Caligula, and In the Line of Duty, Mob Justice. Make sure y'all tap into these movies. Fire movies, must see. And again, I gave y'all a disclaimer on Caligula. Do not watch this movie around children. Alright? So make sure y'all tap into those movies. Jimmy Jam laughing at Donald Trump. Checked out Stray Kids. Shout out to Livy in the building. Hit that like, hit the 100s, y'all. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, and I would immensely appreciate it. Shout out to A in the building. Hey, buddy, what's your favorite movie? My favorite absolute movie, it switches up, man. I will be honest with you, but I'll say my top 5. Or at the top, I would say The Dawn of Planet of the Apes, Transformers 2, Black Panther, yeah, those are the 3 right there. Then, you know, I back and forth with Harlem Nights or Homer Roscoe Jenkins, you know, and I'm probably forgetting a few right now. You know what I'm saying? So, but it switches up. It really switches up every time and again. Planet of the Apes, Chris Rock said. Yeah, I mean, the second one of the Planet of the Apes, the one where, you know, they was in the tree looking for food. They stumbled up on some humans and they told them to go. And it was like, what? Go. So yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite movies. That's a fire movie. Are you still in parole? Shout out to Martin in the building. Appreciate that. Hit the likes, hit the 100s. Y'all funny in the chat, man. Y'all funny. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. I'm gonna give y'all a dope artist to listen to, whether it's new or old, whether it's hip hop or R&B. The music I suggest is gonna be some fire. So make sure y'all tap into tonight's artist. This is an R&B group. This group is called Rude Boys. They got fire music, so make sure y'all put these 3 songs on y'all playlist. Number 1, Are You Lonely For Me? Fire song. Number 2, I'm Going Through. Fire song. And number 3, Written All Over Your Face. This is top tier late 80s R&B here. Like, this is on a whole nother level of R&B. So y'all know y'all gonna get great vocals and that good old feeling with this music. So make sure, again, y'all tap into Rude Boys and their 3 songs put on their playlist. Are You Lonely For Me? I'm Going Through, and Written All Over Your Face. So make sure y'all put those 3 songs on y'all playlist. All right, y'all, moving on to our next. I'm going to give y'all a must read book. Make sure y'all tap into this book. Great book to read. This book is called The Greek Myths. The Greek Myths. Make sure y'all tap into this book. This book is by Robert Graves. And again, it's about the mythology of Greek. So tap into this book. This is the things that you can learn from and challenge. So make sure y'all tap into this book. Moving on to our next segment, y'all already know, send them to Turkey or nah, send them to Turkey or nah. Came up with the segment. It's an inside joke on the show. When people say things, they do crazy things, we send them to Turkey because Turkey got some of the most stringent laws we've ever heard of. So you type in T to send them to Turkey, type in N not to send them to Turkey. First one of the night. Sean Kingston and mother is ordered to pay restitution following his fraud conviction. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Should we send Sean Kingston and his mom to Turkey? Or nah? Should we send Sean Kingston and his mom to Turkey? Or nah? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Shout out to Critical Rick in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. One of our other day ones, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s, my brother. Run it up. We appreciate it. I know you always help with the growth of the show, man. My dog Ryan Anthony, Rude Boy, good content. I'm trying to tell you, Rude Boys was popping, bro. That's good old music right there. You know what I'm saying? You know I'm gonna hook y'all up. I'm gonna benefit your life. You know what I'm saying? With that good vibration on the music. You know. But make sure y'all tap into that music, man. All right. So send them to Turkey on Sean Kingston and his mother was ordered to pay restitution following the fraud conviction. I'm seeing T's in the chat, man. I'm seeing T's. I'm sending the turkeys. I'm seeing turkeys in the chat, man. Me personally, I'm sending them to Turkey too, man. But this goes to show, right? Just because you're famous doesn't make you rich. Just because they say you're somebody's worth, doesn't mean they have that. Whether for the better or the worse. They can have more or they can have way less. That's just talking about assumed assets and what's on file. That's what they mean by your worth. And some people don't know how to put their assets on file. So the smartest people is the people that can really hide their assets within corporations and business. The reason why I say that because again, Sean Kingston signed a very lucrative deal at the time he was a music artist. And he was able to benefit at a time and he made a lot of money. Bought houses, cars, jewelry, you know how it goes. And from our community, we don't realize that money is supposed to be spent on making more money. But we end up buying vanity. We end up buying things. So I'm sending him to Turkey because he had a whole fraud scam that he was doing with him and his mom. They end up getting convicted. So we're going to send him to Turkey. I'm agreeing with y'all in the chat. Like, for somebody in his position, you would think, instead of being real, instead of understanding downsizing and being able to make your money, make more money, he went the fraud route. And it's unfortunate because he is paying the consequences. He is paying his debt to society, but at the same time, he was in a position where he didn't have to do that. And these are all choices. So we're going to send him to Turkey regarding that. In the chat, y'all definitely send him to Turkey. A shout out to Ian in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. I see something for Paul. I don't see it no more. He had enough money to live legal and comfortable. I agree with you, Critical Rick. I agree with you. Again, when you make millions of dollars, and again, most people that end up making millions of dollars now is basically new money. Most people have never came into that way of life and having this type of money, right? So they don't realize that money is supposed to make more money. It's not supposed to be made for big space. Like, you're going to buy things, but you're not going to OD, right? You can only drive one car at a time. So if you have $3 million, you can buy 8 cars, but is that smart? No. You can buy a main home, a summer home, in a winter home, but is that smart, right? So again, we don't make the critical decisions to make our money make more money. You see what I'm saying? Get a house, get a home. Okay, you want to alleviate a bill, buy a home, but it doesn't have to be a million. If you got 3 million, why buy $1 million home? Why not buy a $450,000 home? You got 3 mil. 450 is great equity on any type of house and any type of situation. You just turn your 450 into 600 if you do it the right way, especially if you pay for it all up front. You get you a car. You don't need to get you $1 million car. You get you an $80,000 car and you chilling. You chilling. Everything else, you make your money, make the money. So I agree with you, Critical Rick. Like, you know, he had enough money to live off. But again, these are the decisions when you big balling, baby. So damn, that's such a crazy reference right there. And then he's in jail. That's a terrible reference as well. That's what you just living life. I gotta switch that up because that was crazy. Because I'm not gonna finish what I was gonna say. Shout out to Paul and some people who do know how to put their assets on title, but don't wink wink. Yeah, I'm see. It's always a way to do stuff, and again, our community, our culture, we get caught up in vanity. We rather show you than to live it. And for those who don't understand that notion, it's like, yo, we rather show you we rich than live that we rich, right? We rather show you 80,000 chains, 80,000 chains, but your home situation is not taken care of. You still need loans from time to time, and you got 80 big $1,000, $1 million chains on, but your financials is terrible. So we rather show you instead of living somewhere nice, comfortable, and letting your money make more money. We rather show you, right? So because that's the only way people's gonna believe that we're successful. What? Man, we got it so backwards in our communities, man. It's crazy. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know. Y'all already know it's about that time. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, it's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Again, that's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night. Prosecutors want P. Diddy to get 11 years in prison following his conviction in a prostitution-related charges. The prosecutor have said that his crimes are serious and warrant a minimum of 10 years in prison. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Germany in the building, man. We got Germany in the building, man. Appreciate you tapping in, brother. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Prosecutors want P. Diddy to do 11 years in prison as a part of a plea deal. They trying to, well, not plead, but y'all get what I'm saying. They trying to come to some sort of settlement with his sentencing. So the proposed is 11 years, and the prosecutor says his crimes are so serious that it starts off at 10. So at bare minimum, he should do 11. Let me know if he should do that. If that's what y'all think he should end up getting, or do y'all think he should fight for a shorter sentence? Me personally, through all the embarrassment, he already paid Cassie. If you hear other people talk, they don't put Cassie in a positive light at all. They don't put her as a victim based on the testimony that was spewed by her, by others. I don't see Cassidy as a victim completely in all of this. She definitely was a victim in the domestic disputes that they had. Obviously, we've seen that on tape, on video. Can't argue that, won't defend that. But in the totality of the case, 11 years is extensive for the type of lifestyle based on what they said that he did. If he's going away for 11 years, are y'all going to unearth all these rock stars that was flying girls out, partying with girls, all with the intention of engaging in sexual activities? All, like, I don't think P. Diddy came up with the Diddy oil just cause. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Diddy oil, the take that edition. He didn't, the pink tops. He didn't come up with this by himself. There's people that came before him that was partying hardy. And are you going to unearth these rock stars for doing the same thing? Not to say that they're right, but like, if we're talking about justice and it sounds like just us, then how is it just this? Like, in this particular case, if we're talking about a domestic case, then yeah, then obviously we've seen what P. Diddy was on. Should he face the crimes for that and the charges for that? Yes, but this is not what he was charged of. This was a part of his character. So at the end of the day, should he get 11 years? In my opinion, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. And he's been in jail throughout this whole process. So why not him get time served plus a minimum of another, I would say, 3.5 years? That sounds more logical than anything else because he already has time served under his belt. Why not give him another 3.5 years based on what they say he's convicted for? Based on the prostitution related conviction, you know, the charges. And I didn't even know, because I ain't trying to squill on nobody, but it's a part of the culture where women like to get flued out. And we see it every day. Fly me out, fly me out. So now fly me out is a part of prostitution because it's with the full extent that you're going to give up the cakes. We see it all the time on social media where, you know, you see women upset if they fly a guy out and he don't want to get it popping. And vice versa. You see men upset, they flew a woman out and she don't want to get it popping. Regardless if they talked about it or not, I mean, that should have been like, you should already know. Like, I don't know who, I'm going to say this. I don't know who really talk about like whether we smashing or not before you pull up. When you engaging with people, you already know you're going to crack some cakes. Dudes, we already know. We already know. So the fact when I see this on social media, I'm like, so you flew this woman out and you don't even have the relationship where you already know? Those are questions. But tying it back to Diddy, if you fly anybody out, women if you fly men out, men if you fly women out, with the intention of cracking some cakes, that's considered a part of prostitution because that's transport. So again, this was news to me. This was news to me. Thank God anytime I went somewhere, you know, I'll say I take care of the, you know, the hotel. You know what I'm saying? You handle your flight, you know what I'm saying? So nobody can ever come up back up on old Ash and was like, yeah, nah, he was on the, you know what I'm saying? I didn't pay for them flights. I paid for the hotel. And with the company, I remember my boy was telling me about this company that he was at odds with. I believe they called Bellagio or Bellagio. And he was like, I'm telling you, they got enough juice to, you know, do all this. I was like, yeah, nah. So I kind of believe it at this point because that company ended up owing Diddy, if not billions, I believe millions. And that's why I had to put that out there. Nobody could come back on me, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's that's why I said it. Shout out to Murderous. Murder in the building. Appreciate you in the building. That, man. Appreciate that. It's that Ralph Lauren camo hat. And it matches the shirt too. I didn't want to wear too much camo, you know what I'm saying? But appreciate that murder. Hit them likes, y'all. Hit the 100s again. It helps with the growth of the show. And I know y'all want to see your boy, you know, continue to grow. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Question. Does rap beef still help sales? Again, does rap beef still help sales? Record sales, I should say. Does rap beef still help record sales in the music space? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Yes or no, or full, essay. It's all good either way, as long as it's, I won't say essay. It's, a couple sentences. It's cool. But let me know, do it still help record sales? I'm seeing yes in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of yeses in the chat. Me personally, I always found it like kind of distasteful when artists purposely start beef to sell records. Do it help sell records? Yes, when it's organic. Yes, when it's like, yo, I don't really like this dude. I don't like how he rap or whatever the case may be. And then it's organic, and then it's like, but they put it on the music, right? It definitely helps. But when it feels like a beef only comes around when this person has an album to drop, then it becomes whack, in my opinion. So I would say yes if it's authentic, but no if it's just something to sell records. YNs don't listen to music unless it's about sliding on ops. That is a very interesting comment. Man. And the reason why I say that's interesting instead of saying it's true, because all you're doing right now is stating the truth. But I just don't like putting that air where our little young G's have that energy where they only interested in rap unless it's about negativity, about, getting at each other, right? So, but you're only stating the truth regardless on that. So I can respect that, and I agree with that. I don't know, maybe because I'm a little older, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little older. I come from the era when you was nice, you don't have to scream off the top of the mountain, you're nice, you're the greatest. You let the music speak for itself. You tell people, yo, go listen to the music. Go listen to the album. Go listen to the songs. And when they go listen to it, they will hear the talent. They're going to spread the news based on the talent. But in this era, talent has never been the driving force. Talent doesn't drive sports. Talent doesn't drive entertainment. Talent doesn't drive music. Talent doesn't drive politics. Talent doesn't drive any form of anything in our society. Not to say that the leading people don't have talent. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the people that's the driving forces is not talent based, and we see it all the time. So I will agree on that. But again, if a beef is authentic, it's like, yo, I gotta hear that in the music. Because honestly, I'd rather hear it in the music than to hear it on the news that somebody really pulled up in their neighborhood and, they did something. Like, that's taking it too far, dog. Taking it too far. If it was really an issue, pull up man to man. You have no entourage. You have no entourage. For most guys, let them get 30 minutes. 30 seconds. Let them get 30 seconds. Because most guys can't fight 5 minutes. Most guys can't fight a minute. Give them 30 seconds. Give them 30 seconds. Let them, that 30 seconds, nobody breaks it up. Nobody picks up no bricks. Nobody picks up no bats, no guns, knives, nothing. And y'all duke it out for 30 seconds. Y'all get a smooth 30 seconds. And let them figure out if there's really beef, if there's really no coming back, 30 seconds, bro. And y'all think I'm playing like most dudes in a street fight? They ain't not fighting no 5 minutes, let alone no minute. You ever seen a street fight? The first 10 punches, all gas out somebody's body. They don't know how to breathe, nothing when they fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, let them get their 30 seconds if there's really a beef. Other than that, put it on the record. Put it on the record. But should that be the sole driving force of hip hop and music? Of course not. Like I'm just a big proponent of skill. I'm a big proponent of skill. I still listen to older albums. I still listen to albums, from the 80s and well, more so the 90s. The 90s, the early 2000s, those albums was amazing in hip hop. They last the testament of time. Do I listen to today's music? Of course. Of course. Even though the music quality was probably better in the 90s, we still live in the best time in music, mainly because I'm not at the behest of anyone. Like back in the 80s and the 90s, if you're an artist, you had to schedule studio time. Then you had to pay the whole day for the studio. Bare minimal to get studio time, like back in those 90s, was like $1,800, and you in the studio all day. All day is your studio time, bro. You got all day. So you had to really like write your shit, go into the studio, like really, and then you had people that would come and play live, whether they had like an instrument to play or people that's doing vocals. Like you really had to, and you was at the behest of someone else. Not to mention, back in the day, there was no internet. So it's not like you're dropping your song and you're seeing the rewards of your song. Nah. It got to go through a whole production process. It has to go through a whole marketing process, promotional process. It had to go through so much red tape before the music actually came out. So we live in the best era now where as artists, we could really take advantage of our music, how we put the music out, how we package it, how we want us to look, and our aesthetic, promotion, and all that stuff. We got control of all of that. Back in the 90s, a lot of artists that went platinum was still living at home with their mother. I remember hearing Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest. Their album went platinum. Platinum. And he said they got written, I believe, a $60,000 check, if I'm not mistaken. But he ended up getting 15, and two other his band members got 15,000. And the rest of it went into the budgeting and recouping and all this other stuff, and he was still living at home with his mother. But he's a platinum selling artist. Like, where they do that at? So that's why I say we live in the best era of music, because we get to change the narrative on the business side. But as far as the music in itself, the 90s and the early 2000s, man, the product in itself was just special. Shout out to Murder. You remember that song when Hov was trying to warn Drake about what's happening to him currently? I do. Very interesting, right? Very interesting. The music business tells on itself every single time. Every single time. Shout out to 24246. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Appreciate you. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. I see the joke that you posted. I feel you, know what I'm saying? I hear that each and every episode. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Critical Rick, the unks gotta get out here in the streets and make these YGs. I'm gonna say YGs instead of YNs. These YGs catch a fair one. The young generation is scared of getting jumped and humiliated while unconscious. See, I mean, to keep it real with you, bro, there's no man that's not afraid of the possibility of getting dog walked. I'm not saying that you're fearful, you walking around with fear. That's not what I'm saying. No man would feel like a man if he go into a fight and just get dog walked in 3 punches. You know what I'm saying? So anybody would be afraid of that. But their scarcity is on a whole nother level. They like, yeah, nah, you ain't gonna catch me on tape getting dragged, getting knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need no 6-pack when I got texts. You know, so some of these YGs got it mixed up. You know, so but at the end of the day, I don't know where the disconnect came in, because again, the young G's now is our little brothers, our nephews, our sons. I don't know where the disconnect where our teachings growing up, if I had an issue with you, I'm going to see you. And y'all already know I grew up playing sports. I grew up boxing as well. So, and I was I was a street kid, you know what I'm saying? Meaning, like, before I heavily got into football and basketball, I was always outside, getting into fights. So, but I wasn't the only one outside. Majority of the guys in my era when we was younger, we fought growing up. We did carry razor blades. I will say that. We did carry but we carried razor blades only if we was in the situation if somebody else had a gun. I know y'all like, yo, Ash, what's the logic in that? When we was kids, that made sense to us because we didn't have a whole lot of access to guns as little kids. Our older brother had to have a gun, or we had to have access of our uncle's gun or something like that, right? But our parents didn't give us access of guns like that. But we had razor blades. So if somebody had a gun, the logic was to slice and run. Which is not funny, but y'all get the point that I'm making. And that was at the most. But we grew up fighting. So again, at the end of the day, people are still alive. And people learn real lessons from fights. And the worst thing you could do is not lose a fight. That's not the worst thing, because most guys know when you grow up fighting, if you fight somebody and you win and you beat them up, you don't go around bragging about that. That's not something to brag about, because he was man enough and strong enough to fight you. That's not somebody you want to fight again, honestly. If you already beat them, if you already whooped them, that's not something you go around celebrating. It's like, I won, but all right, cool, I'm going to move on. Like, you won. The whole purpose and the lesson in fighting is letting the person know that you're going to stand up. So that used to be the lesson in fighting. And that's where we got it from. You fight. And if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. You get up, dust it off. And what Pop said from Friday, and you live. And you live to fight another day. You know what I'm saying? Which is true. So I don't know what the disconnect is regarding the young G's and going to gunplay. And the access of the gunplay is crazier. But yeah, so I would definitely say that. I'm not worried about getting beat by one guy in a fair fight, facts. But getting jumped and beat while unconscious can disable you, or worse, the group is more problem. Yeah, that's a fact. If you're fighting the group, then like in New York City, right? You never want to be the dude that nobody knows on a random block and you have to walk past a whole bunch of dudes that don't know you. It's almost like you lunch meat, though. At least in the era I grew up in, it was like you was lunch meat. So you had to carry a certain energy so they wouldn't try you. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to get jumped. You know what I'm saying? But it's a part of the game, though. It's a part of the game, you know? So, shout out to the heavy metal. Appreciate you tapping in, man. When I was a kid, we may have slugged it out, but today's youth are trying to cause great harm. Yeah, I mean, see, the whole purpose about fighting, and I agree with you, the whole purpose about fighting is to gain respect. So if you take an L, you took an L, bro. But at the end of it, you got your respect. Most of my friends growing up that I had, I fought them first. That's how I made friends. Like, yo, I want to see if you about this life out here. And then the next day I'm at the house, we playing Nintendo, Sega, whatever we got going on, or we outside playing basketball, football, or whatever. So that's how we made friends growing up for real. And you fought some of your friends sometime. And the very next day, y'all don't even say nothing. It'd be like, just dap them up. It's like, yo, y'all cool again, you know? So it was about the respect. So I definitely agree with you, heavy metal. Appreciate you, man. Wow, it wasn't a $150, 2000 era thing. I'm not gonna hear about that so much now. That is a fact. That is a fact. Again, razor blades. Remember, I spoke about the razor blade. So in the 2000s, this was like, early teenage years or mid teenage years. The razor blade was a thing. The buck 50 was a thing when the gang culture really came to New York City. Because before the gang culture came to New York City, the gang culture was already here in New York City, but we called it crews. We called it posses, right? That sounds real old school, right? But the gang, where it's like the gang is like, blood, crip, and so on and so forth, right? But posses, you repped your neighborhood. And, so when that culture really came in from basically Rikers Island, if y'all guys do the research, the initiation was to give somebody a buck 50. So but that was already engraved in the culture that we already had. We carried razors. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what it was. I remember a friend of mine, and he's probably watching right now, but a friend of mine, when I was about 14 years old. I was about 14 years old. It's cold as shit outside. I'm hungry. I was like, yo, let me go to the store and get something to eat. Pizza was my thing, right? So I go to the pizza store from a good block away. I see the pizza store's closed, but I see these two guys walking this way. It's cold outside, so it's New York City. So when it's cold, it's dark, and you really can't see nothing. So they had hoodies, and like I had like a half a hoodie, but you could see my face. So I see these two guys walking this way. So I look down. So instead of walking back, I didn't want these two suspicious characters behind me. You know what I'm saying? So I walked towards them. Again, I saw the pizza shop was closed from far away. So now I'm in front of the pizza store acting like I don't know that it's closed. I see that it's closed. It's just the fact that now they're in front of me. So one of them turned around and said, yo, you want a problem? And I was like, what? And I used to carry a little razor blade, in my thing like Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? So I could hide it and then, just pop out, you know what I'm saying, in the sleeve. I said, what? Mind you, I'm about 14 years old. These dudes is about my age, I think, but they got big overcoats on. So I said, what? So now I'm walking towards them. Right? I told you I was kind of crazy. The dude dropped a knife that could have gave the screen man a run for his money. He had like the hook, it was like a dagger. I ain't never seen nothing like that. And it had like the new shine on it. And the way he dropped it, it was like, yo, right? So mind you, my razor is like, I got my razor though. You know what I'm saying? I got the razor right here on the tuck. You feel me? But it wouldn't fall out. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like stuck. So you ever be tough, like it have your stuff ready, but it's not ready. Like you having a malfunction. It's like it's not ready. So now he coming closer. I'm like, hold. So now I'm getting cool. Like hold on. Like I ain't ready yet, bro. Chill. You gotta give a fair one. I ain't ready. So now it's already caught. I'm about to run. And I start, like, I did one of these, you know what I'm saying? Because I had a little speed on me, you know what I'm saying? And he starts cracking up and starts calling my name. Ash. I look back. It's my best friend in the world. I'm like, he's cracking up. He thought this was the funniest thing in the world. I said, yo, bro, I almost had a heart attack because I couldn't get my razor out in time. You know? I swear, like, so razors was a big thing back in the day. It really was, you know. Shout out to Flame in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, cracking up my dog Neat One. I'm trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I was about 14 years old, and you know what I mean? That's just what it was, you know what I mean? But shout out to my bro. He know who I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? And, but yeah, you know, that happened or whatever, and he just thought it was the funny. He laughed about that for the next 2 days. For the next 2 days, and mind you, we go to the same school. we live close in proximity. He live upstairs, and it's like he was laughing about that for the next 2 days. You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty funny in hindsight. So, but yes, shout out to y'all though. Hit them like Shaw, hit them 100s in the chat. It helps with the growth of the show. Shout out to Steph in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. And again, shout out Flame for tapping in. Appreciate you as well. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Mayor Eric Adams has decided to drop out of the mayor's race for the upcoming election. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, I didn't think otherwise. I didn't think he was going to, try to stay mayor with all the backlash and all the things that he has been going through in his current administration. It hasn't been clean. It hasn't been something where people are yearning for him to return as mayor. It's time for him to go. He tried. He tried his best. He tried to be relatable. He tried to do the things that's needed for the city of New York, but he fell short. And then not to mention, he was dragged in different cases that mysteriously disappeared. He had several cases that disappeared. And I believe this was strategic in the hindsight and in the greater scheme of him not even trying to go for re-election. And it made sense. Like, this was going to be great for his resume for his next job. Anything else that he has going on, at the end of the day, he can't be the mayor of New York City. He's not beloved like that in the city. Like, you're not hearing constituents, you're not hearing other people in an uproar saying, no, we need to keep you on as mayor. They like, oh, all right. And his name hasn't been good in the news. There's nothing good of him trying to go for re-election as the mayor of New York City. So, again, I'm not surprised at Mayor Adams regarding that. Yeah, I had to give that brother some tickets to the block party. Shout out to Critical Rick. Appreciate you, my brother. Going to be bad for New York. But see, at the end of the day, right? When you think of him and his time as the mayor of New York City, is it negative or is it positive? Is he going to be remembered and be beloved, or is it going to be like, all right, there go Eric Adams, former mayor, right? That has a different energy. And in New York City, energy is everything. If you got good energy and you making bad decisions, the people will still love you in New York City. You can't mess up, then have weird energy. Then it's like, yeah, we need to get you up out of here. Now, if you're doing everything that you need to do and have weird energy, New Yorkers will be like, yo, but he's doing a bang-up job. He's changed this for the better. He's changed that for the better. There's not one thing that people could really go to about Mayor Eric Adams to say that he's changed this about New York City for the better. Most people can't even name the thing that he did in his time as the mayor of New York City. So at the end of the day, man, I'm not surprised. He had a very trying time as a mayor of New York City, and don't go for re-election. It's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. He has, again, mysterious cases that just went away. Cool. And I think that has to do with the fact that he's the mayor of New York City, and it just looks bad. So at the end of the day, shout out to Corrupt, man. Appreciate you tapping in. But we're going to hook you with some tickets to the block party, my brother. So, yeah. So, again, I'm not surprised at Mayor Adams not going for re-election. Me personally. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. The Cleveland Browns have named Dylan Gabriel as the starting quarterback against the Minnesota Vikings in upcoming game. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the Cleveland Browns have named Dylan Gabriel as their starting quarterback against the Minnesota Vikings in the upcoming game. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, though, not surprised based on how Cleveland has operated this year. But let's be real. The Cleveland Browns is not a first-class organization regarding the NFL. They're not. They haven't been regarded as winners. They're not regarded as a destination place, as a player you want to go. I need to live in Cleveland to play for the Browns. It's so prestigious to play for the Browns. So them making this type of decision at this particular time doesn't surprise me. They drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. I don't believe he should have been next up to bat, but he is. Has he looked terrible? No. He hasn't looked great either. But Joe Flacco, at this point in his career, he is a backup in my opinion. I also believe that Dylan Gabriel is a backup as well. He's a good quarterback, but I don't see him being a starter for any team in the NFL. Good player, but I don't see him having that type of impact on any team in the NFL. Now, if one day, let's say he does it now. Let's say the next 3-4 weeks he balls out. Let's say he has a Hall of Fame career moving forward. But if he finished the season strong, I'm going to say I was wrong. I'm going to say I was wrong. But based on what I've seen so far, good player, good quarterback. Is he a starter in the NFL? I don't believe so. Is he somebody that I would make my franchise quarterback? No. Would I make him my backup? Yeah, because he's solid. He's a guy that if somebody gets hurt, he could come in the game and at least finish the game. Right? He's not a guy, again, I would have as my franchise quarterback. So, good luck to him. I really mean that, genuinely. Good luck. I really wish he does his best. I hope that the team pours into him just like they did with Joe Flacco. But my question is, if he doesn't live up to the billing, will they continue to go with him or will they go back to Joe Flacco? Because now Joe Flacco is your number 2. Shedeur Sanders is sitting at number 3, and his potential is higher than Dylan Gabriel. So it doesn't surprise me. I don't think Shedeur should be the second quarterback at this point in time. I think he should be the starter or the third. Just like Dylan Gabriel, I think he should be the starter or the third. I think you have Flacco there to be your number 2 regardless. Regardless. And then when next year come around, then in my opinion, whoever outplays each other, whether it's Shedeur or Dylan Gabriel, one should be the starter and the other should be the backup moving forward. Because Dylan Gabriel is not 21, 22. He's 25. So, again, he's closer to 30 than anything else. So, again, he's more set in his ways on being a backup, in my opinion. But if he balls out, he deserves to start. He deserves to start. So, I'm wishing him all the best. With all that I just said, I'm still wishing him all the best, in my opinion. So, so he's getting the start this week with Minnesota. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. China develops a bone glue that heals fractures in 3 minutes. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. China develops bone glue that heals fractures in 3 minutes. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, oh my goodness, it just seems like Asia is so ahead in different and multi-facets of everything. Whether it's mathematics, whether it's science. I mean, both are used for the area of science and research. It just seems like it's always something that they have coming out or that they've been doing that is a human race issue, not a Chinese issue. It's not, you know, an Asian issue. It's a human race issue. Their findings that this bone glue benefits all humanity, all people around the world. You know, kids who, you know, well, not necessarily with kids. You want kids for their bones to heal naturally. But this will be great for sports injuries. This was great for senior citizens or people that's getting older and they have what they would call degenerative bodies. So I think this is actually a great thing in their findings in science where they're actually already doing this. I like this blew my mind that they even have that, and they developed this bone glue that does it. Again, China develops bone glue that heals fractures in only 3 minutes. That's crazy. And think of the benefit it would do for all humanity when they get this glue out. And I hope, if and when they do, I hope that each places that get this glue don't try to like safeguard it where they're only trying to make money from doing it. Because you have people that could really benefit from this. So why not get this out? Like just how when COVID was here, oh, you had to get your COVID shot. I'm like, yeah, that sounds kind of suspicious because I've never seen the government making sure that people get this shot. So people that need this bone glue, are they going to make sure that they get this bone glue for free 99? Because to get the shot, all you had to do was just pull up to your local, your local store or whatever. You could do it right in the pharmacy stores or whatever the case may be. If they have a pharmacy, your local doctor or whatever, and you could get the shot. So why not give people this bone glue for free, or people that's already in the hospital that need it, and not charge them to put it on your hospital bill? That's why it was so fishy to me when COVID happened, because I never seen the government wanted to make sure that people get this shot. Well, I don't got the money to get the shot. Oh, it's free. It's free. Put the jab in you. It's free. I've never seen the government so gun-ho on people getting the jab. So with these new findings, I hope they don't safeguard it to the point, or gatekeep it, I should say, gatekeep it to the point where they're worried about the money instead of having people benefiting from this basically healing glue. So that's what I think about this. Y'all don't forget to hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, and I appreciate it immensely by y'all helping. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We a little over 11. So again, continue to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that all notification bell. I do pop up all through the week. So, you know, don't forget. And also check out the memberships. Different memberships do get granted different access. And again, shout out to some of y'all in the chat because y'all gifted a couple people some memberships earlier. So again, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Rex Ryan, commentator Rex Ryan, ex-Jet coach and New York Jet coach, blast quarterback on the Browns, Shedeur Sanders, for saying that he feels like he could give a better performance at his position based on what he's seen the quarterbacks in the league do so far. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. My thing about Rex Ryan, and then he finished saying that Shedeur needs to pay attention, sit in the front row, and focus. You saying that like you did every day at practice. You saying that like you know firsthand that he's not sitting up front, that he's not doing what it takes, that he's not staying after practice, that he's not pulling up before practice. You're saying that like you in the know in all of this. You're saying that like he's sitting around the locker room pouting. If he feels confident based on the performance of other people, if he could do a better job to say that, then he can say that. Because I remember when Rex Ryan was a coach for the Jets, he came out super confident, and the Jets at that time didn't have no business being super confident. He came in with a bravado that was like, yo, bro, you walking in here with energy that's not reflective of your team. Now, did that team show improve? Yes. But he talked the talk and then they walked the walk. So why can't Shador do the same thing? Because he's the quarterback of the team? If there's not one person that needs to have confidence on your football team, the quarterback needs to have confidence on your football team. That's what makes it mind-boggling to me, because Rex Ryan is a guy that been in the locker room. He's been a coach. He's been a player. He's been in the locker room. So he knows better. He knows better. He knows that confidence breeds confidence, especially with quarterbacks. He knows, being in the NFL, that you have men that pay their bills, put their life and body on the line with the belief that their quarterback is going to help them get to the next level. If my quarterback is like Mr. Timid and, he's Mr. Super quiet, confident, nah, I'm cool, man. Give me somebody with some confidence, man. Give me somebody with some energy, dog. What? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So, Rex Ryan, chill. Chill. I know you know football. Not challenging the fact if you know the game, obviously you coach the game. Not challenging that, but your ideology is way off base on this one. It's way off base. Telling a young man to sit up and pay attention when you're not even in the building. Telling a young man to just work hard and just be there and do your time. He's already doing his time. When you had Mark Sanchez at the time, and if you started somebody over Mark Sanchez and they asked Mark Sanchez, like, what do you think of the quarterback playing the league? And he said, well, I'm confident that I could play better or just as good as what I've been seeing. Based on how you was Rex Ryan at that time, you'd be like, oh my God, he got some balls. He got some confidence. I love that, man. But now Shador got confidence. That's a problem for you. And the crazy thing is, you don't have no salt in the game. You in the fact of you don't have no benefit on watching him fail or succeed. So why compile it just to get views and clicks? I don't understand that. You too high in position to say and do things for views and clicks when you know the game. You know the game, dude. And you know for a fact that your quarterback needs to have confidence. You know for a fact that if you have your sources the way you do, right, Rex Ryan, you have your sources, right? You've seen the way those veterans interact with Shador. That shows confidence. That shows the fact that they would listen to him if he's in the huddle. They're going to give him that respect. So the fact that you tossing that out there like you've been sitting there watching and this, that, and the third, like you don't know no better, is so negligent. So negligent. So negligent. And you don't have a salt, whether in the game, in the fact of you don't benefit on watching this young man fail. And if he succeeds, then what you going to say? Hey, man, he got some confidence, huh? You want somebody to have wavering confidence? But I forget, he an old school coach. He only wants a player to have confidence when the coach want him to have confidence. Oh, I get it. I remember a lot of those type of coaches. They only want you to have confidence when they want you to have confidence. Get out of here with that, man. Shout out to Shador. Keep doing your thing. And even in the last interview, it doesn't matter what he says or don't say. Now they saying that, he's not a serious guy because now when they're asking him questions, he's not even answering. Like he's doing it in a way where you can't hear what he's saying with no voice. So people have to read his words now, because no matter what he say, people are gonna take the wrong way. And it's one thing for people that's the viewers that's watching to take it the wrong way, but being a sports analyst and being next to the game and being a former coach, you would think y'all would have some sort of decorum, some sort of y'all built so much football knowledge and equity that people lean on y'all expertise, and y'all give feeling based answers. Nothing based on any type of just real structure in football. Shout out, who's that in the chat? I see somebody just gifted 5 gifteds, man. Rowan Jack, man, appreciate you in the building. He just gifted 13 people in the chat with some memberships, man. We appreciate you, Rowan Jack, as always. Make punching down great again. Shout out Rowan Jack, man. We always appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yo, he just gifted 13 of y'all some memberships in the chat, man. That is fire. Appreciate you, Rowan Jack, for that, man. You know, the next episode is also going to be super duper special, the 200th episode. That's a milestone to have 200 episodes in a podcast. Not many podcasts can say they got 200 episodes. In the very next episode, I will have achieved that. We will have achieved that. And that's going to be super special. And I might do, I'm not going to say might, I will perform a little something, something on the pod. You know what I'm saying? Y'all been asking for a little something, something. Hit y'all with a couple of bars for the 200th episode. We're going to have some fun for the 200th episode, as we doing now. So, Critical Rick, Eric Adams will be remembered. I don't think Eric Adams was going to be remembered for being in a positive light by New Yorkers. I don't think that. I think when people think of Eric Adams and his stint in New York City, it's like, this dude. I think this benefits Eric Adams because he won't have the same position. He could go into a position that's financial based. He could write books. So he's in a financial space that's going to be crazy. And this is great for his resume. He was the mayor of New York City. But his tenure, I don't think is going to be missed. And there's not an outcry for him to stay mayor of New York City. Yeah. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. A $233 million crypto scammer won't face any jail time. Instead, he will do 2 years of community service. He will also be a part of the cyber currency team, works on micro strategies for cyber security. That's also a part of his deal. And this young man, 20 years old, name is Malone Lamb. He stole over $200 million in cyber currency. Tell me what y'all think about that in the chat. That is crazy. Again, 20-year-old Malone Lamb stole over $200 million of cyber currency, $233 million. And he won't serve a day in jail. He's going to get 2 years of community service and be a part of the cyber security team, micro-strategies as a part of his deal. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to y'all. Again, we got about 28 people in the chat. That's what they showing, but it's always way more because as soon as I turn the video off, they show me my real numbers. But hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, and I appreciate it wholeheartedly. Thank you. But yeah, this situation, I don't think the rest of the world, as far as our law is concerned, has caught up to cyber crimes. $233 million. That's next level money. That's next level money. And he did this This is what they call it, cyber currency. It's a lot of money. Um, so the fact that he won't even serve a day in jail, and I know why he won't serve the day in jail, because he decided, or it was a part of his deal, to be a part of the team that helps with micro strategies and making sure that these things doesn't happen to, continue to happen with other people. But the 2 years community service, I really think he ended up getting that deal because this was probably his first time ever being in trouble, ever. He probably had a squeaky clean pass, and of course, being a part of this team, his expertise in this type of thing pays about 125,000 a year, 150,000 a year. So if he's a part of that team for an extended period of time, I guess he's paying that money forward. And the 2 years with the community service, I'll say that's about right. But not to get no jail time. It's like, whoa. To me, one thing, if you stole about 100,000, 500,000, maybe a million, but $233 million. Even if it's in like one of those, prison or jails that's, kind of relaxed or lax or whatever, no jail time, not a month, not a couple, like, I, I guess they could have gave him 6 months, but they're like, what's the use? What's the point, right? Where he could be out helping come up with different strategies for this thing not to continue happening. So I guess that was in consideration. But I was kind of like thrown off and surprised at the same time that he didn't receive any jail time regarding this. So I just thought that was quite interesting all in itself. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. A 17-story incinerator shaft collapsed at an apartment building in the Bronx earlier today. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. A 17-story incinerator shaft collapsed at an apartment building in the Bronx earlier today. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Reportedly, thank God nobody was hurt regarding this. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. This is New York City. This is the projects. These project buildings have been up there at least from, I would say, the 50s, maybe the 40s, and they just continue to they don't even fix it for real. They do the tinkering, but they don't fix it. People, kids themselves are living in this environment. And if you're coming outside your building and you have to have a fear of the incinerator compactor falling on your damn head or your children's head, there's some fixing that needs to be done, dog. And it's not just that building. As a culture of New York City, you have a whole lot of people that live in housing, that actually depend on housing to actually live. They have to pay the low rent to actually live in New York City based on other high prices in New York City. Whether it's food, whether it's transportation, it's very high. Not to mention clothes is very expensive. Getting around, just doing the upkeep is expensive in New York City. And to have the fear that the damn incinerator that's 17 stories on top is going to fall, the shaft in itself, they created this thing called NYCHA. And NYCHA is supposed to go around to different projects or housing in New York City and make sure these housing is built right inside and out. From the structure on the outside, from the inside, make sure it's clean, make sure there's not no pissy hallways, make sure that there's no holes in the cracks, you don't have rats in the damn house. There's supposed to be real fixing going on in housing. But it's not. And they're very selective on where they do it to, because if you go to certain housing, the housing in certain parts of Brooklyn, like the housing in Howard Houses and let's say the housing on down Nostrand Ave towards like Pacific Avenue, DeKalb, Bergen, those housing is maintenance completely different. Those housing, they take care of it in a completely different way than they would do in places like East New York, Brownsville, and so on and so forth. And people are humans, yo. And at the end of the day, you want that to be like their worry? Fix these places up. These places have been up since the 40s, yo. There's no reason why that there should not be a real housing makeover in all the housing in New York City. Housing has been making billions for decades. So to fix these housings is not going to affect them not one bit. If they go around and fix all the housing, give quality living arrangements, quality living areas where people could breathe, because a lot of people develop asthma from lead paint poisoning, from the different things going on in these particular houses of them not fixing it properly. Yo, go ahead and fix it. Y'all been making billions for all these years. Why not have quality housing for people, yo? And they don't see people as humans in certain neighborhoods. And that's the reason why they haven't done it. Because nobody's going to say nothing about it, and nobody's going to really do anything about it. If you got people picking an everyday, yeah, we need better housing, people from NYCHA still not going to do nothing about it. They're not going to go around all these high crime neighborhoods and fix the housing. And the nicer the place that you live, the more you're going to want to upkeep it. If you live in piss and shit and it smells like liquid diarrhea, what are you going to do? You're going to eventually pack your stuff and leave, or you're going to do the same thing. It's just so funny to me, no matter what housing I go into in these bad neighborhoods, the elevators always smell like piss. You got to step in certain parts on the stairs so your shoes don't get sticky because somebody done threw piss down the hallway or feces, or like all types of stuff, dog. And that comes with how you maintenance the building, showing people that you care, and they would care. That's just crap to me, man. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. College football picks is in. If you're trying to win some of that money on, if you have a parlay, if you're looking for a game to bet on, my dog, you know what I'm saying? I'm about this life. You know what I'm saying? Tap into my picks, and you already know what it is, man. I got pick six. My pick six is in for both college football and the NFL. This week, pick six, the first game I'm calling, number 22, Illinois going to Purdue. I got Illinois winning that game. They played outstanding last week. They looked really good against USC. I thought USC was going to win that game, but Illinois will not have a drop-off against Purdue. Illinois need this game if they're going to really make a playoff push for the college football playoffs. And I think that Illinois is going to play. They're going to show up and show out in that game. Second game I'm calling, Wisconsin going to my Michigan Wolverines, number 20th in the country. I got Michigan winning that game. I think Wisconsin will play the best football game of this season against Michigan. It's just that time of year. It's Big Ten football, baby. But I'm still going with my Wolverines. We need this game as well. And I love what I'm seeing in the development in our quarterback and the rest of the team. We looking better week to week, so I'm going with Michigan. The third game I'm calling, number 16, Vanderbilt. Very underrated, playing against number 10, Bama. This game is going to go to the wire. Vanderbilt is very good. Vanderbilt, I believe, is 5-0. Very good team. But I'm going with Bama. Going with Bama. Their quarterback, Ty Simpson. I said this when they lost to Florida State. He looks like an NFL caliber quarterback. Their receivers are starting to, get on, but they have a physical brand team just like Vanderbilt. but that quarterback play is going to be the difference. Vanderbilt got a good quarterback too. He's a good quarterback. I believe it's Pavia, good quarterback. But Todd Simpson is a difference maker, and they beat Georgia last week, so I'm going with Alabama to win this game. Next game I'm calling, number 9 Texas going to Florida. This is going to be a monumental game. The number 9 team in the country is coming into a disruptive, crazy, manic place in Florida. That stadium is crazy and it's going to be loud. I have Florida for the upset. Texas, good team. But Arch Manning still haven't developed. He's still developing, but I don't trust him in a game of this caliber, in this environment, playing these type of athletes. Florida has athletes like Texas. I don't think Arch is ready for the moment at this particular time. Maybe next year, but not now. I have Florida for the upset. Next game I'm calling, number 11 Texas Tech versus Houston. This is going to be a great game. Houston is really, really good. Texas Tech has been outstanding. Houston can upset Texas Tech because they got this game at home. But I'm going with Texas Tech. They need this game if they want to be considered for the college football playoffs. And this will be great on their resume if they beat Houston. Last game I'm calling for college football, my pick 6. Number 3, Miami goes to number 18, Florida State, I'm sorry. Number 3, Miami goes to number 18, Florida State. This is a rivalry game, in-state game, Florida State versus Miami. So you know this game is going to be popping. Florida State lost last week against Virginia. They had no business losing that game. But they have business losing to Miami. I think they're going to lose to Miami. Miami looks really good this year. They look playoff bound this year. They have Carson Beck from Georgia from a year ago, and he's been balling out. The team has been balling out with his leadership. I'm going with Miami beating Florida State at Florida State. So for my pick 6, college football, I have Illinois beating Purdue. I have Michigan beating Wisconsin. I have Alabama beating Vanderbilt. I have Florida upsetting Texas, number 9 Texas. I have Texas Tech beating Houston. I have Miami beating Florida State. And that's my pick 6 for college football this week. Got my pick 6 for the NFL. Y'all know how I do, man. My picks, it be getting busy. It get jiggy with it. So my first game I'm calling for the NFL. I got the Vikings beating the Browns. I think it's going to be a good game. The Browns defense is so good. It's so good, and it kills me that they haven't figured out this quarterback situation because you're wasting that defense. But the Vikings defense is really good. They scheme very well. And I think the Vikings offense is more suited to put up points against Cleveland than Cleveland putting up points against the Vikings. So I have the Vikings winning this game. And this is Dylan Gabriel's first start. And I'm always kind of like against rookie quarterbacks in their first start. It just statistically, it just works that way. Second game I'm calling, Giants versus the Saints. I got the Giants winning this game. Jackson Dart won his first game as a rookie quarterback against the Chargers, which is a lot to be said for because he played a decent game. He didn't knock anybody's socks off with his performance, but he did what needed to be done in a win. Now, they will be playing without Malik Nabers because he is hurt for an extended period of time, but I still think the Giants get this game. The Saints would be lucky if they win a game this year. I'm so serious. They'll be lucky if they win a game this year. And I think the Giants need this game if they're going to compete for a playoff spot. They can't lose this game. They have to win this game. So I'm going with the Giants. Next game I'm calling Lions versus Bengals. Another entertaining game, but without the Bengals quarterback, Joe Burrow, the Bengals obviously is not the same. Browning is a A big drop off, obviously, from Joe Burrow. So I have the Lions. The Lions look like they in stride right now. So I got the Lions beating the Bengals. Next game I'm calling the Bucks versus the Seahawks. The Bucks played a really good game against the Eagles last week. I wouldn't say a really good game. They played a decent game, but they could have came back and won. Um, if it wasn't for Baker Mayfield throwing that pick at the end of the game, they really had a chance. But I think the Seahawks steals this game from the Bucks. They playing at the Seahawks. The Seahawks have all the momentum, in my opinion, winning this game. I'm going with the Seahawks. Next game I'm calling Titans versus the Cardinals. This will also be like I would say this is a 24-21 type of game, 24-18, 16, maybe 14 type of game. But I have the Cardinals winning this game. The Titans is still figuring things out. They have a young quarterback. He does have some skill, but there's some discourse in the locker room. But the best thing for their locker room is that they figuring out people do care if they lose. So with that being said, I think it's going to be one of the Titans' best games of the season, but I think Arizona wins this game. I think Arizona is just a better team. So I got Arizona, the Cardinals beating the Titans. The last game I'm calling my Chiefs. Y'all see that? You see the hat. You see the hat. We have the Jaguars. I think this game is going to be a good game. I don't think this is a walk in the park game for us. The Jaguars is a very resilient team. But we winning this game. We winning this game. Our defense is so good. We know what Patrick Mahomes is. Travis Kelce is a bit on the decline, but he's still very serviceable, and he's still a factor. So that matters. But we're starting to get some of our weapons back on the outside. And that matters most. That matters most. So I got my Chiefs beating the Jaguars for this game. So my pick six for the NFL, I got the Vikings beating the Browns. I got the Saints losing to the Giants. I have the Lions beating the Bengals. I have the Seahawks beating the Bucks. I have the Cardinals beating the Titans. And I have the Chiefs beating the Jaguars. So that's my pick six for the NFL and college football. Again, don't forget to hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit them 100s. Again, it helps with the growth of the show, and I for sure appreciate it. Thank you. Also, episode 200 coming up. It's going to be very special, very big, and can't wait for y'all to see that this Sunday. Moving on to my next segment, our Keep the Lie Live segment. My Keep the Lie Live for this segment is you ever get away from somebody for a period of time and you like, damn, man, I wonder how that person is doing. Whether it's a friend or whether it's a ex, relationship. And when you get around them, you get reminded why the hell you got away from them in the first place. Excuse me. So my Keep the Lie Alive is this. Sometimes you need to go back to move forward. Sometimes you need to go back to move forward. Because you just out here living life. And when you move forward and you think back like, damn, why did I stop talking to that person? Why are we not cool? Or why we not together anymore? And when you get around them, you're like, yeah, nah, I'm cool. Yeah, I see where my blessings was raised after I no longer gave you access. Because that's a funny thing. People still believe that they deserve access once you're no longer together. They still want access of your time. They still want access to you responding fast in a text. They still want access to the advantages that it was to being with you, the connections that you have, the people that you knew, right? So that also come at a cost. So it's quite funny when you get away from somebody, again, whether it's a friend or an ex, and you say, damn, why did I get away from it? Because they was in a position in their life or in a position in their life where they're doing things and saying things that could either be toxic, that could be things that you're not going to put yourself in harm's way. And if you're going to put yourself in harm's way, it's going to be your mess up. It's going to be your crash out moment. It's going to be your risk it all moment, right? So you get reminded, and these are blessings because you keep these people away from you. And you think about it, you like, damn, yo, like life is moving. It's been 3-4 years later, and me and this person don't even speak. And sometimes it don't even be beef for real. It's just that their mere existence in your presence, it doesn't bode well for you because their energy is just off-putting. Even if they're pleasant human beings, like their energy, like you meet people, some people that is pleasant, but they just have a negative energy. You get what I'm saying? Like they will speak, they will say hi, but they negative on life, right? They don't think anything positive happens in life. Those are still people you need to get away from because they carry that certain type of energy. If you're in a relationship and you're no longer together with this person, and they text you out of the blue, and they text you about 5 or 6 times before you could respond to one text, it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You don't have that type of access to me anymore where I'm going to respond to you. I'm going to drop everything to make sure that we have a conversation about this or that. So it's quite interesting when you get away from people and you're reminded why you've been away from this person based on their energy and based on their just vibe. It's such a blessing because in order to move forward, sometimes you have to go back. That's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode. Man, y'all been amazing. I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in, man. I want to shout out some of the people in the chat. I'm not going to shout out everybody. There's a lot of people in the chat, and YouTube don't say my correct numbers because every time I get off of here, it be hundreds of people in the chat or thousands of people in the chat. But again, for the ones that's being displayed and showed, thank you. Again, please hit them likes and 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. But shout out to some of those who've been tuning and tapping in, some of our day ones, some of our badge holders, people that got gifteds. And we're going to do something special for the next episode as well. We're going to do we're going to do a free giveaway. And we're going to try to get some more of these gifteds up as well, too, because at the end of the day, the growth of the show is what matters. And it's the 200th episode, and we've grown from each and every episode. So we've earned each and every one of y'all as viewers. Whether it popped up on your For You or whatever the case may be, we earn the right to come up on your For You page based on other things that you watch and based on things that I say. So again, I want to thank y'all because y'all support is everything, and it means the world in our growth. A quick shout out to Shay in the building, Treatment in the building, Winter in the building, Culture, King P, give to some people in the chat, Phoenix, Ryan Anthony, Paul, Biggs in the building, Mr. Do, shout out to Demo. Shout out to Ivy in the building. I believe Critical Rick. Paul. I think I said Paul. Ivan. Rowan Jack. He gifted 13 of y'all in the chat with some new memberships. That's what I'm talking about, man. I love that. It helps with the growth of the show on such a next level, man. Like, and it's so inspiring for me when I see somebody like Kai Sanat and he has a million subs, and I'm like, whoa, that's outstanding. I'm so happy for him. I'm so proud of him. But seeing that inspires me to just do my part, not be the next him or be the next anybody. It's only one Ash. You know what I'm saying? It's only one Ash. You know what I'm saying? The winning smile. You know what I'm saying? The energy. I'm joking, y'all. I'm being funny. But y'all get the point that I'm making. It's only one me. I only want to be me, and I want to do it my way. But seeing his achievement is inspiring, and I would love to be on that level one day to have 1 million subs. And that come with so much hard work and dedication and sacrifice. So shout out to Kai Sanat for that. But again, I'm pushing for that as well, to be in that realm, because I have a passion for this. I'm very great at what I do too. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to toot my own horn or, you know what I'm saying, get the dust off my shoulder. But again, I want to thank y'all for supporting. Thank you. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. I really mean that. Thank you. Shout out to 240. Shout out to Dago. Shout out to Armor. Shout out to True Engagement. I'm not gonna do every. It's a lot of people. Shout out to Anton, Todd, Mo. Shout out to y'all in the building, man. I appreciate it again immensely. Thank you. We got the big episode 200 coming up next episode this Sunday at 10:30. Make sure y'all tune and tap in. It's gonna be absolutely popping. I'm also gonna do a little performance for y'all. Some of y'all been in the chat asking like, yo, bust a rap or something, bro. And y'all gonna see, I'm gonna give y'all a little something. So definitely next episode will be special, some free giveaways. I might have some people pull up on me in the chat, you know what I'm saying? So again, this is gonna be super duper fun for the 200th episode. I wanna thank our presenting sponsor of this podcast, Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Also, I want to thank OUV Records, another sponsor of the show. Again, go to at OUV Records on Instagram, tap into the merchandise and the music. Quick shout out to, again, we're on the road to 20,000 subs. We're a little over 11. So don't leave tonight if you haven't by subscribing, hitting that all notification bell, because I do pop up. I have over 500 rewatchable videos of this podcast on this channel, on Ashley Lovechild channel. So again, tap in. These are great conversational starters, and it's a good time, man. I love having. If this is your first time, if you didn't get anything outside of tonight, is that energy is very important to me. So I'm gonna always give y'all that great energy, and I'm gonna give y'all information. I don't play about my information and my knowledge and my findings and my studies, because I do research. I don't Google or AI Google. I do real research. So when I give y'all information, you know what I'm saying, I get real deep. Pun intended. No, I'm playing. But y'all get what I'm saying. Thank you. Again, for those who've been supporting my new EP, that's up on all music platforms. Winner's Loyalty. If you haven't heard it yet, type in Ashley Lovechild on any music platform. 6 songs of fire, especially for my hip hop lovers. Make sure you tap into my new EP, Winner's Loyalty, up right now. And thank you for those who've been supporting it so far. Also, for next episode as well, I'm going to have questions. So if any of y'all have questions towards the ending of the show, I'm going to open that forum. So y'all could, if y'all got a question, y'all can ask, especially if it's like, serious or something like that. No weirdo questions, no trolling questions. You know what I'm saying? I love a good joke. I'm from Brooklyn, so I grow up on jokes. But nothing like, weird or, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I mean by weird, because we do get the trolls over here, and they just be weirdos sometimes. So if y'all got real questions, next episode I will have that forum for y'all. And again, y'all don't forget to tap into those movies. Again, I said In the Line of Fire, In the Line of Duty, Mob Justice, Caligula. Again, do not watch that around children. This is a R-rated movie, and this is the first movie that I've ever seen that was a R-rated movie, and they had adult activities going on in the movie, and they showed it. You know how most movies have adult activities, and you might see a breast, you see the motion, right? No, they actually showing adult activities. So again, make sure you don't watch Caligula around children, but it is a must watch. And also Faces in the Crowd, fire movie. That movie's fire. So make sure y'all tap in. Y'all already know I love each and every one of y'all, just like y'all love your boy. I appreciate it. Again, if this is your first time watching, I am Ashley Lovechild. And y'all already know, man, it's love. And I'm going to see y'all next episode this Sunday at 10:30 for episode 200. I'm out.